Age of Calamity is here! Finally, you can scratch that itch to see what happened 100 years ago and play as the 4 champions. So, is it good? Does it change the way you look at Breath of the Wild? Was I born in a PvG cloning factory? These are all things we may never know, but some of them we will know, so let's get straight to the point. And no, not about the cloning thing, okay? That never happened. There is no evidence, you cannot support anything, do not look into what the Australian government was doing in New South Wales in 2009! Genetic engineering isn't even that recent of a technology, okay? Let's just, nope, we're moving away from this now, okay. The game opens in the middle of the Calamity, but one small Guardian isn't changing like the others and opens a rift through time, bear with me, before we cross over to Link roughly a week or two before the Calamity. Now, you may be wondering, why have a Guardian go back in time to before the Calamity? Why not just start the game before the Calamity? Well, it's because Hyrule Warriors games are needlessly overly convoluted to the point of stupidity, just like the radical ravings of the maniacal madman who writes them. Seriously, these games are like fanfiction. Bad fanfiction. So, okay, a questionable opening with no voice acting aside, what is the gameplay like? Well, if you haven't played the previous game, your first reaction should be, there's so many of them, what am I even supposed to... Oh, they suck. They really suck. You play as an over-the-top god while everyone around you does nothing. Seriously, they're useless. What must their generals be like? Alright men, you've been training for this your whole lives, but you're not at the academy anymore. This is real, so let's make it count. No, there's like 100 of you. Oh yeah, that guy right there. Congratulations, Private, you've just been promoted. And now that I've seen the high standards of the Hylian army, I'm gonna live up to them. There. I'm a hero. And speaking of heroes, the game makes you feel like one by being pretty easy, so consider playing on hard mode. It adds just enough difficulty to keep things interesting. That is until you reach an impossibly hard side mission that's level suggestion is way lower than it should be, and you die at 50- Oh, come on, I was right there! But the other thing about the heroes is they all have their own unique ability. There's Daruk who can block infinitely, Urbosa who shoots lightning, Revali who attacks in midair, and Mipha who can... swim? I guess? Oh, except for in water. Cause you know, why would a fish do that? They also added Impa, my personal favorite. She creates clones of herself to become a one-woman army, rides ice cubes, and Naruto runs? Well, I'm sure it's just coincidence. I mean, there's no way they just put that in, or maybe not. Okay, they just put Naruto into the game. Yep, she even comes complete with her own Sage mode. I thought I made the clones, but really, I'm the clone. And if that weren't enough, there's also characters you wouldn't even expect. Like the Great Fairies, Master Koga, and... Hestu? Since when can he fight? Making the other champion strong is fine, cause you know, they're dead. But Hestu survived the Calamity. You're telling me he's this strong? But did nothing to save Hyrule in 100 years? Gee, thanks for saving all those people, Hestu. Oh wait, they're all dead. Yeah, you do your little dance, Hestu, but just you know, your days are numbered. And finally, you can play Zelda. You can play Zelda? My prediction was right! Zelda Smash DLC! Zelda Smash! I really hope a final Smash isn't just taking a photo, though. That would be dumb. Aside from that, Zelda is a really solid character. Unlike everyone else who uses several weak attacks followed by a strong one, Zelda uses one weak attack followed by several strong ones. Use her right and she'll Yu-Gi-Oh her way into activating 100 trap cards at once. And if that fails, she can just run you over with her minecart she borrowed from Steve. Purah and Robbie are also in the game, but neither of them are playable. Instead, they just tell you about how this little robot traveled from the future to warn Zelda of the Calamity, just like some other round robots delivering messages to princesses. But is this over-the-top game good? Well, it will probably split the Zelda fanbase, and that's not the only thing. We all know what's coming. This game will stand out for years to come as one of the few games that dares to end in tragedy. A tragedy that you become further encased in as you get closer to the inevitable moment these beloved characters must meet their— Just kidding! They get saved at the last second by time shenanigans! Yay! Eggboy plays a song that makes them appear. Guess he's got the Ocarina of Time in him or something. But seriously, how much would this droid need to know in order to do that? He has to know where the champions are, who would help them in the future, and where said helpers will be 100 years from now. Again, rampant ramblings of a maniacal madman. So, does the champions not dying where they presumably would mean this game isn't canon? Well, you'll have to play it to find out, but there are still many ways in which the game can turn tragic. But this game will leave you with a lot of questions, like— what the hell? If Impa went from this to this in 100 years, why does Coco look exactly the same? What the hell? Why are there two R2-D2s? And seriously, what the hell just happened? You know, I thought since the director said the Zelda team worked closely on this game, it would be restrained and not fly off the rails. But notice how when talking about what the Zelda team oversaw, they do not mention the plot. You know, I kinda think that would be an important detail to oversee, Nintendo. Unless you want the plot twist to be the bad guy was Tingle all along. Ganon was just his puppet. How many of you can't tell if I'm joking or not? The Divine Beasts are also playable, and they're only slightly the most OP thing in the entire game. Slightly. But the game borrows not just the world and Divine Beasts from Breath of the Wild, but also its mechanics. Each character can use the Sheikah Slate, and not only to attack enemies, but also to find chests. And speaking of chests, there's a lot of them. They're hidden in every map. If you ever get bored of fighting, you can just go around and look for them. Same with the Korok Seeds. The weapon system is also semi-present. Link wields not only swords, but also polearms that release a flurry of fast attacks and two-handed weapons that constantly unleash powerful combos at the cost of health. The game is really creative in the combat department if that wasn't obvious already. This is especially true for Zelda, not just because of her reversed combos, but also her secondary weapon, the Bow of Light. Her normal attacks will make enemies extra weak to light arrows that she then rains down from the heavens at the cost of her special bar. The weapon inventory is also a feature, and just like in Breath of the Wild, it gets upgraded with Korok Seeds you find in each map. And while extra space is nice, it doesn't really do much. It's great for characters like Link and Zelda, who have different weapons, but most characters will just end up with 20 of the exact same sword. Yippee! The map is filled with quests that either upgrade characters, unlock new shops, or give you recipes that buff stats before a mission. Completing enough quests also unlocks an amazing bonus reward, so you can see what you're striving for and work hard to get it. Unlike the old games that were like— oh, now I get it. I gotta beat these 3 levels to unlock a new character, but to beat one of them, I need a Lucky Bean one, so I have to go over here. But to get there, I need a leaf, so I have to beat this level again, even though I just did it. Then backtrack, loop-de-loop, crisscross, teleport across the entire map, go left at the invisible wall, go right, right, left, down, 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 right. And then I'll have the thing that unlocks the thing that unlocks the level that unlocks the character. But the old game's problems aside, this one is pretty good. Of course, you'll have to decide whether it's for you or not, and while it's not the most sophisticated game, it is a lot of fun, and sometimes that's all a game needs to be enjoyable. But if you're still on the fence, here are the 10 best selling points of the game. Number 10, Urbosa. Number 9, the background. It's great seeing Hyrule before it was destroyed. Number 8, Koga's voice actor.
Am I even allowed to be this strong?
Doesn't that just sound amazing? Number 7, Urbosa. Number 6, the enemies. There's not just Bokoblins, Lizalfos, and Moblins, there's Guardians, Lynels, Hinoxes, Stone Taluses, and so much more. Number 5, Hestu's voice actor. Number 4,
Urbosa!
Number 3, getting to change Zelda's outfits. Number 2, travel animations. Each character jumps off a Sheikah Tower and glides away with the paraglider or some variation. But in Link's case, if he uses his wooden weapons, he flies with a Koku. Oh, by the way, you need to have saved Zelda of Breath of the Wild in order to get that weapon, so... And at number 1, finally, the best thing in the entire game, Link. That was Age of Calamity, but before you dislike and unsubscribe, check out this video I edited that has the real PBG in it. Yeah, I edited a video featuring PBG. It's on Ray Ray's channel, and while you're there, why not unsubscribe to her? Cause it's not the only video going up there that I edited. And once you're done, my other Zelda videos will be waiting for you here, my sweet prince. Okay, whatever. Bye.